Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome near, welcome far. Welcome to the world's greatest sports podcast. The Somebody Said podcast. It's a special week, man. Special week. Week 0.
Man.
I mean, the box office boys, it's only right that the box office
boys. Okay.
It's only right that we kick it off, in prime time. The only game in prime time that matters. The Florida State Seminole will be taking on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets this Saturday in Dublin, Ireland. If you haven't noticed by now, Pump ain't here. He's on a flight headed to Ireland, to kind of get play-by-play for the podcast. Get us.
He better come back with some footage. He better come back with footage, man.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a problem.
You hear me?
Because I need to be there.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing all the pictures and all the footage, and I'm low key like kind of jealous at this point.
I heard that there are a lot of Florida State fans who made the trip. I know,
it's a sold out game.
Sold out game, and I think it's gonna be at least 65-35 Florida State split in terms of just crowd presence. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like it's a ton of Florida State fans out there.
Right. And the fact that it's a sold out game, and Georgia Tech isn't a really big school, and so you would think,
right,
with that, I'm sure there's a bunch of Ireland fans that just want to watch college football as well. So you'll have that minority, but you would think you would see a lot of garnet and gold throughout the stadium.
Yeah, they thinking it's about 80-20.
80-20? Man, I was trying to be generous.
We travel, man. Hey,
everywhere.
You do.
We showed up to LSU, man, and we took that over. And then Orlando wasn't even a question first week game. That was like a home game.
Yeah.
So we travel, man. We get out there.
Yeah. But before we dive into this episode, for those of you who are listening, viewing, that guy right there to my right would be Jason, a diehard Florida State fan.
Cousin Jay Will.
He's bad luck to me, Last time we quote unquote linked and watched the game, Jordan Travis broke his leg, but I'm gonna give him a pass. Because I ain't know him like that,
Yeah.
But I felt some type of way,
That was a bad day. I don't even want to relive it. Like I was telling you, boy, it was like a punch in my gut when I saw that happen. And no matter how I told you the story,
he was telling me play by play.
I ran the play back. You would not believe me.
No, because I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna go over it. We've talked about it off air. It's just the way it happened. It was just devastating. And then everything that happened after that, which we don't want to touch. It's a new year.
Yeah, it's a new year. It's a new year.
It's a brand new day. It's a brand new life.
I can see the smirk on Breeze's face.
No, listen. I am just happy real football is back. I'm excited to watch a live game. I'm glad it's not us. I have an extra week to get my nerves together. I know next week we're gonna be talking Canes and Gators. So I'm just glad I'm not on the hot seat this week and I can just enjoy the week 0 game.
Man, I'm sweating just getting ready to talk about it, man.
Should be.
Should be. But before we jump into it, let's shout out our sponsors. The Red Lady Rum Punch, the official beverage of the Somebody Said podcast. Drink it, pop it, sip it, enjoy it. Also, we are sponsored by Window to Wall Solution, where they build a dream home for a reality price. From the trap to the top, they got you.
Yeah, man.
How's business?
We're doing good, man. We just logged in Trust Engineering. Oh, man.
Did you just do that?
I don't know how I did that.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Man,
all right. Well, yeah, fireworks.
It feels you.
It feels the vibes. Yeah, it feels that we up. Just logged in Trust Engineering for a new build, so we're ready to go on that, man. It's going well.
All right. Let me know about the concrete. Off air.
We'll talk.
All right. We got a not necessarily a packed show. We're going to talk Georgia Tech, Florida State, break that down. Then we'll jump into some NFL action. A couple rookies got the starting nod. I do want to touch on that. Breeze, you had some receiver news you want to get into. And I kind of wanted to do what we did last year and go around the horn. Each division was the surprising team that had come out of that division and the favorites and a way too early Super Bowl prediction.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it for this show. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off, Jason. So I'll kick it off with you.
All right.
Give me your synopsis of how you felt last season went before we get into this game one. Like, what was the takeaway from last season in your eyes?
Man, last year for me it was productive. I think we surprised a lot of people. I don't think any Florida State fan, if you would have asked them at the beginning of the year, will Florida State go undefeated? That wasn't in the record books. Everybody would have took a 10-2, 11-1. Going into Clemson, man, is very difficult to win. So you take that win into consideration. You take what we did in Florida. You take what we did in the championship, and then to be snubbed like that, man, they really didn't look at what we went through to get to that point. So all in all, I was pleased. Heartbroken about the decision, but we were there. We were in contention. So, this year we got a better opportunity with the new system in place. So we're looking forward to, running it back and doing our thing, man. I think we got a good chance to make it back.
Okay. And this game, it opens up at a 10.5-point favorite for FSU. Do we see? I know we're going to get into prediction at the end, but is that a fair number to open up this game at? Because the way I've been thinking about this game throughout the weeks, I've watched film, I've watched every Georgia Tech tape, and the more I watch them, I keep thinking to myself, it's Georgia Tech. It's still Georgia Tech, regardless of how many players they bring back. If Florida State each year gets better and better, and we're supposed to be at a certain standard that we know this team should be at. And we went 10-3 the year before last. We went undefeated, lost to Georgia in that debacle. But every year we incrementally get better, and we're starting to get to that standard that we used to be at. The fact that there's some Florida State fans out there worried about this game, the way I look at it, if we have these athletes and we're at that standard, it's just Georgia Tech at the end of the day. That's how I'm looking at it. And I think 10.5 is a little bit too low. I think it could be.
It's too low?
Yeah, I think this could easily be a 16, 17 points, swing. So I'm just interested to hear y'all thoughts because Breeze, if Miami gets back to where Miami needs to be and you open up against a Georgia Tech, you should just view that game as it's Georgia Tech. What have they done in their history to even make you be concerned about them? I think we're just overly concerned for nothing. They brought back 75% of their roster, but at the end of the day, it's still Georgia Tech. I was
about to go. I mean, listen, you're not wrong. One, obviously, Georgia Tech should not be as far as football programs. It's not on the level of a Florida State. It's just not, right? Brand recognition, history, and all that good stuff. No, we're talking about completely different ball, almost like different games, right? It's almost like for much of Georgia Tech's football existence, they're not playing the same sport as Florida State. I hate to put it that way, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Georgia Tech, but Florida State is playing for natties every year. Georgia Tech for quite a while was 3 yards in a cloud of dust running the wing T, and everybody else had moved on in football. But what I will caution you, and I know this, we're not going to get deep into Georgia Tech, that returning production, I think it's something you can't just gloss over. You also got to remember, this is a Georgia Tech team that won some games that they shouldn't have. And their roster, while nobody's going to be on the
They really shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have, but they did, right? Like, I mean, you could say that, yeah, they shouldn't have won some of them games, but at the end of the day, they won them. right? And even if it was a fluke or maybe they had one or two things go their way at the end of a game, they were still in it. And there's a reason they were still in it. I think I've jokingly said this a couple of times. That Georgia Tech team is a bunch of SEC reject kids. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but Haynes King, former 5-star high school quarterback, originally at Texas A&M. The wide receiver, their leading receiver. Y'all recruited him. Yeah, TAMU passed on Cam Ward to bring him in, actually. Their OC wanted Cam Ward at the time, but he had a 5-star quarterback on the hook. The running back used to be in the SEC. Their leading receivers out of SEC. Several guys on that defense were originally at SEC teams. So, yeah, Georgia Tech is in terms of just brand and program, lesser. But when you're bringing back 83% of your offensive production, 49% of your defensive production, your coaching staff stayed the same year over year, in theory, that team will take a step forward. How much of a step forward? I think we'll get to some score predictions at the end, but just don't completely go off over them. And the last thing I'll say, their quarterback can run, and running quarterbacks have given y'all troubles in the past. I thought of Thomas Castellanos in Boston College.
Not the Heisman Trophy winner.
Fair. He didn't kill y'all, no, but like a Thomas Castellanos did. Like Castellanos gave y'all offense for a little bit.
I mean, it was an anomaly. I don't think I hate the notion that running quarterbacks kill us. They might.
I didn't say kill. He just give y'all just a little bit of.
We'll have our troubles, but the rest of the team will still have to make plays. Like we might give up 80 yards to Haynes King and still win by 17. That's how I'm looking at it. And if you're bringing back 83% of a 7-6 team that should have lost an extra 2 games, it's still that team. Now, they may get better a little bit, but how much more better are you going to get? They are who they are at the end of the day. And if they're bringing back that same team who fluked out a couple wins here and there and should have lost some, am I really concerned? And I'm supposed to be coming off of a 13-0 season and an ACC championship? I get it. It's week 1. The energy is high. It might be a good first half, but I think we have to get back to, as a fan base, where we're kind of arrogant when it comes to playing a Georgia Tech, and not we don't know what to expect. It's Georgia Tech.
You've been hurt for so many years, man. It's hard to get back in that mode.
No, I'm saying, like, if we're playing like a Miami this year, I might be nervous now. But let's come on.
I mean, I hear you, and I definitely think that Florida State has taken a step forward as a program. Right, 3 years ago, it's probably a loss. 2 years ago, it's definitely a tight game. This year, you guys are favored by 11.5 for a reason. There's a lot of good reason to believe that you'll win by double digits, but a double-digit win is still a strong win. I don't think turning your nose up at an 11.5 spread, I don't think is disrespect. I mean, you don't see a lot of double-digit spreads between two teams that are even, in the upper half of their conference, right?
You look at a lot of the games. Breeze, if you check that spread, I think it's come down.
It's 10.5. Down
to the 10.5.
People taking Georgia Tech with the points.
That's what I'm saying, man. What are these people seeing?
They're dropping the spread, man.
It's juice to the under. That means people are taking Georgia Tech with those points. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't want to tip my hand, but I think 11.5 is a big spread for a week 1. If you guys were bringing back, you call it 65% of your offensive production, I would feel better, right? You kind of open this up by saying there are some things that you just got to see, right? I think, or it was off air. We kind of talked about it a little bit. DJU has ability. Nobody's questioning that. DJU has talent for sure. I'll continue to say it. When he's right, he's as good as anybody in the country. Is he always right? No, so far in his career. Obviously, your running backs are going to be good. I love your offensive line. I think your offensive line is definitely going to be legit. What are you getting at receiver? Okay, Benson Tough, he looked great in the spring game. Can somebody else take some load off of him, right? Or if they're bracketing him, who's that other guy beating one-on-ones? I think there's some questions on the Florida State offensive roster and the depth chart to where I can't jump out and be like, oh, man, they about to hang 40 on these people. If it was last year's roster, yeah, Florida State can go out here and hang 40. We knew what Keon Coleman was. We knew what Johnny was. We knew what Jordan Travis was. I don't know what this offense looks like as a unit. Are they going to hang 40? I don't know. They might go out and only hang 17, but 17 still could be enough to win. and just not cover.
Mm. All right, well let's break this game down. I'm gonna kick it to you, Jason. What are your keys to coming out with a victory? Not necessarily a 17-point victory, just getting a dub. What are the keys to victory for Florida State?
All right, so my first would be leaning on those 5 seniors on that offensive line, and we have to run the ball. So we run the ball, when we want to, when we need to. I think that'll open up the pass game. So we're not gonna be pass heavy, but once that running game gets going, leaning on those 5 seniors, man, averaging over 320 pounds on that offensive line. Yeah, we got to run the ball. So that'll be key number one. Key two would probably be those linebackers. We got some new linebackers stepping into the starting position. So you got Lundy. We got the linebacker from Auburn. That's stepping in, Riley. How do they stop the run? Because Georgia Tech is going to be a run heavy team. It's kind of like looking at us in the mirror. Their offense is very similar to ours. So how do we fill those gaps? Are they going to get lost? Because we can go back to the first play, LSU. A lot of window dressing. Running back get lost. In the first play they out the gate. So will we be good enough to make sure we don't get lost? So how do those linebackers respond? How do they communicate? We lost one of our big communicators. So I think that'll be key number two. So, and then key number three is that secondary, that deal. Is Azaria gonna bring it like they've been talking
They've
throughout
been
camp,
talking,
man? So if that secondary is our strongest point, man, Georgia Tech don't have a chance. So those are the three key things I'm looking for: that offensive line, those linebackers, and that secondary.
I think for me, it's seeing how these receivers show up, because you would have to think if you're Georgia Tech, you're gonna stack the box and force DJU to make plays with these receivers, because that's an experienced offensive line, over 2,000 snaps between all of them. So a smart head coach is gonna make you show your hand out the gates, like show me you can throw it. So these receivers are going to have to make plays on the outside. And Georgia Tech has one of the better secondaries in the ACC. It's a really good secondary. So that's my first key, is these wide receivers have to show up, because they're going to be geared on stopping the run. And I agree with you on the defensive side, where these linebackers, they're going to have to trust what they see. Read your keys, because like you said, their offense is kind of similar to ours. There's a lot of moving pieces. You might sneak a tight end out, and so you got to trust your eyes. And you got linebackers playing in roles they haven't played in before. I think Shaheem Brown is going to be the communicator of the defense. He's the talker of the defense. Now, normally it's that middle linebacker. But he's, at strong safety, he's going to come down in the box, and he's going to be that sort of eraser and the vocal guy. Other than that, I think we have an edge in special teams. We have two of the best kickers. We got probably one of the best punters in the country. Field position is going to be a big deal in this game. Mastromano, I think he's the best punter in the country.
I think so. I think Mastromano is a dog.
We could win off his leg.
Hey, y'all laughing, man.
How do we get excited about that punter, man?
I'm just saying, it's a big part of the game.
Back, man.
Three phases of the game, right?
Back.
Yeah. It's 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams, man. And field position absolutely matters, especially if you get to a spot where your defense is doing what they're supposed to do and the offense is kind of struggling, right? That punter can flip that field. Your defense goes out and get a quick 3 and out, and now you in plus territory when you get the ball
momentum.
Yeah, and it's just much less that the offense has to do. So it's kind of funny, to get hype about punters, man. But in a game 1, week 0, where things can be weird and you figuring out your communications, knowing that your special teams is in place and your punter can flip a field, man, it matters. It definitely, I think it matters for sure.
And we know how Norvell feel about special teams, man. He ain't playing.
You can't.
He's not playing. Yeah.
You can't. Let me ask you guys, because I think we kind of, when we did the FSU preview show, we talked about the defensive backs. And so now that the depth chart has come out, I think there were some oars. Not that I think there were some oars in there. And I'd like to get you guys' thoughts on those, right? So first, you know where I'm going, because you've been big on him since he transferred over. Little Earl Little as an oar at the nickel spot. How do we feel like that's an issue, or the guy who won just earned it and he's better and we feel good rolling with him, or y'all feel good rolling with him?
I don't. Well, you got to look back to last year's roster, right? Greedy Vance was listed as the starter, I believe, but Jarian Jones was an oar. Jarian Jones is a third-round draft pick to the Jags, So, and he saw most of the snaps, so Mike plays around with the oars a lot, and then goes with the guy that's making plays. So Earl, he'll see the field a lot. He's not going to be on the side. Like, he will be in the game a lot. Even if they ought to drop him at safety, or he's going to be out there. But I think I'm losing his name. Number 3, Noles. He's back in his natural role. Like, he started as a true freshman, and he was one of our best cover corners as a true freshman. And then for whatever reason, they dropped him back to safety, I guess because of the injection of more talent at that position. So now that they're throwing him back in the slot, he's more comfortable to do what he's been doing all his career and make plays. So, as fans, we tend to write people off. I'm one of those people. I wrote him off.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you owned it. Okay.
That Miami play just sticks with me forever. Like, he was at safety, and he just, I don't know what Jacoby George shouldn't have caught that ball. He didn't.
Hey, man, he got beat.
He didn't get beat. He just didn't play the ball.
He got beat.
You ever watch wrestling and the dude jump off the top rope and you can clearly see he missed the hole, man?
It's similar to the safety y'all had that one year where
don't bring that up.
It was a bubble screen, and he just tackled air. So
against Michigan State, I know what you're talking about. Certain
things stick with you, and that stuck with me. But I don't want to write the kid off because he is a good slot corner. That's essentially his makeup. He's a slot corner. So I'm a big Earl fan, but I know how Mike is. He's not just going to hand anybody a position just because you came in with a name. Because look at Sean Murphy. He wasn't even listed on the depth chart, and he came from Alabama.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So I'm cool with it.
Struggling, man.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
He's been struggling in camp. I haven't heard much about him. So
let me come back to the safety spot that you mentioned, right? Kevin was at the safety spot. They moved him back to maybe his more natural position. Mm-hmm. You put Devontae Brown back there. Mm-hmm. What is Jay? I don't know if you and I have talked about Devontae Brown, but me and Unc have talked about Devontae Brown. So, for those who don't know, Devontae Brown started at UCF. Prototypical build for safety. He's long, rangy, good straight line speed. When the ball's in the air, that boy turned into putty. He falls apart when the ball gets in the air. What do y'all think? If that is still the issue, maybe it was just in man coverage. What do you see his role being? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see come down in the box hit safety, right? We got a buddy of ours who was on the staff over there at UCF, and he just said the kid was just soft. He wasn't physical. He didn't want to get dirty, didn't want to get in the mud. So do you see Mike trying to use him, or Adam Fuller using him to come downhill, or is he just a center fielder where it's like, hey, keep everything in front of you, balls in the air, just go get the ball?
So for me, So if you look at this depth chart, there's so many seniors on this depth chart. And I think part of the reason why he's starting is because of how much ball he's seen, how much football he's played. So that's one added, you know what to expect. So you got a guy that you could rely on from a mental aspect that's the last line of defense. So I think Mike trusts him enough to to put him out there because he knows the system. He came in during spring, and he's seen so much football. I am kind of with you on the tackling thing, because we can't depend on Shaheem to come down and erase everything. Like when you play safety, you're the last line of defense. There was a footage that went out with the freshman Cam Davis, random slap over, So it made me think about you, but Mike trusts him enough to put him out there for a reason. So obviously, if he's not getting exposed that much, because they're watching the practices, not us. So if he's not getting exposed that much, I think. And then there's an Conrad Hussey, who I wanted to get that position. So if he's gonna start going out there missing tackles, Mike is not opposed to pulling that, pull him out the game.
I think because of his experience, that's really what's helping him. He's seen a lot of football. And so some plays he's filling the hole in camp, when it looks like it's about to, go out the back door, and he's filling that hole. So we're getting some good with the bad, So, from what you heard from UCF, but that experience that he gained from Miami, now he's back in his natural position at safety. He was at corner, right?
Yeah, and y'all went right at him. As soon as he came in the game, y'all went right at him.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what we did.
I think he's in his natural position back at safety, and so that'll give him a little more opportunity to fill the holes because of his experience. You'll see him, be able to adjust on the fly a little more than Conrad. But Conrad, man, he's right up there, man. Very physical safety. I like him. So
the only thing about Conrad is, and I think why Devontae was listed ahead of him, is just the mental thing. Like he's still young.
Yep.
Conrad, he's jumping. He's so aggressive to where he misses the big picture. Like we talked about, there's a lot of moving pieces with Georgia Tech. So he might bite on a receiver going in motion or a back coming out the backfield, and then you leave the back wide open. So I think Mike is going to go the more disciplined guy mentally early on. But you still got to make plays to stay out there.
Got to make plays, man.
Yeah, I mean, as a safety net, I think he can be fine, especially, from a safety spot. There's less pressure when the ball is in the air, right? He was what Pump always said that Sean Murphy Bunting was. He was a walking PI. Every time Miami put him on the field, that jugger was getting flagged. But maybe the pressure decreases, right? Where he's backpedaling. He's not playing that man-to-man so much. So balls in the air, he's playing that center fielder. He's just got to go chase it down and get it. So, maybe that kind of helps with some of the issues he's had in the past.
So how do we feel about, Jason, how do we feel about this offense, being that there's so many guys that they're essentially the entire offense is seniors? Jaylen Brown is the only underclassman. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. Like I said, 5 seniors on the line, man, you talking about 22-year-olds, man, ready to move things. So starting with that offensive line, and then you got your running backs. You got a running back coming from Alabama who had over 100-some yards against USF. He had a good showing against Georgia. I think he had a good showing too.
He started that Georgia game.
Yeah. So, that experience, man, is going to help us. But I do think we have to lean on that run game, man. I'm just not sure about DJ right now. But, we'll see. If he can hit the deep threats, if he can hit the deep passes, I think we'll be okay. But it's a question mark. So
I think DJ helps the run game, honestly, because while Jordan had the ability to be a threat in the run, I think it came up several times last season. Pump would say it like, just run, Jordan. And he just wouldn't.
He was just trying to prove that he could be an NFL quarterback.
Right. I think at this point in his career, DJU kind of understands where he is. He seems like a very cerebral kid. He understands what he is. And in this offense, he has to be a running threat. Right. And I think Mike will instill that and he'll know that. So I think it's kind of twofold with the run game, if I may. I think maybe the ceiling comes down because I don't see a Trey Benson right now Maybe Roydell can get there. I just don't see that the same big play threat, that any given play he breaks it off for 60. But you could also get better if your quarterback is more of a threat using his legs. And DJ is a tank. Like, you don't want to be having to hit that all day, especially if you're throwing the Roydell at him first. You hit him with the flash with Crib, Toafili, and then you bring in Cam and maybe give him a few snaps, and he's another big body, and then you coming back at that with DJ. So that short yardage run game, I think, is going to be very, very good right out of the gate. I think that's one of the things you could put your mortgage on. That short yardage run game is going to be legit.
You almost sound like a Florida State fan for a second.
No, don't do that either. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I would like to see, though, our first down production be much better this year. Hey, these 2nd and 10s and 2nd and 11s, man, we got to figure that out. That's a big question too.
So I actually have a hot take about just the offense in general, because I feel like when you have receivers such as a Keon Coleman and a Johnny Wilson, you tend to try to force it to them. This offense, you don't really have a guy, so I think Mike Norvell will be in this element of calling plays because you have speed all over the field. I think they said like 6 or 7 guys was clocked at 20 miles per hour on the GPS.
Yeah.
So, but they're not divas. So I think the offense will be a lot more efficient, being that you're not trying to force the ball to Keon all the time or Johnny. So I think we'll be better on those early downs.
Okay.
I know for sure we'll be good on the first drive because we're the best at scripting plays.
Hey man, Mike can script he can script the drive for sure.
Yeah.
That opening drive.
Yeah.
That opening drive.
Oh man, he script the opening drive, man. He's Steven Spielberg on that opening drive script.
Run the opening drive again, man.
Yeah, we getting points. We getting points.
Give him the flight of the bumblebee.
All right.
Run it again, man. We're going back with the first drive. Coach, first drive.
Oh, what you say? It's like Novocaine. Give it time. It always works.
Always works. They got 6 plays.
Hey.
My dog said, Coach, here go a few trick plays. We can get these boys.
Trick plays.
What?
He was confused.
How about you worry about that defense?
In all seriousness, though, let me ask you this though, just to counter to make sure people don't confuse me for a Florida State fan. We talk about football, especially college football, a lot of times coming down to the Jimmies and the Joes. And I do think there is some truth in the fact that there are times you can get lazy and saying, look, I got Keon, I got Johnny, we'll just keep throwing the fade ball. And at some point, one of them won't come down with him.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a point where it's like knowing that you have guys who will make those plays and not having those guys who can make those plays. Are you at all concerned that you don't have, hey, look, worst come to worst, everything fails, toss it up to this guy. Like that's a security blanket in having that, right? My guy's just better than your guy, right? Keon Coleman, if I throw him 5 jump balls, he's probably coming down with 4 of them, or he's going to get a PI on 2, 3 of them, and that's just as good. Are you at all concerned about not having that security blanket or that sure thing in the offense to say, I know if nothing else works, that works?
No.
Okay.
I think it kind of cripples you though, because if you look at actual championship teams, you look at Georgia, who's one guy that they say,
Bowers.
I'm saying though, like even you take Brock Bowers out the picture, we think Georgia's still going to be good, right?
That offense it wasn't as potent without Brock though, right? We all knew push come to shove, get the ball to Brock.
Take our national championship team. Was there one particular guy, or was Jameis just
take?
What's the hot take?
Morlock.
Kyle Morlock is your go-to?
Yes.
Boy, stop.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
That's a spicy take.
It's hot.
He'll be good this year.
There we go.
He's gonna be
He's
good.
probably gonna lead our team in receptions this year.
That would be scary bad.
I mean, Breeze, it's a double-edged sword because you do want a guy like a Dalvin where all else failed, Dalvin's going to break a 60-yarder.
Yeah.
But if you rely on that too much, it kind of cripples your offense to where you're just limited to trying to force that one guy play. Like at one point, we were just throwing it up to Keon or just throwing it up to Johnny. Like the offense was just it would work. You throw it up.
That's the thing. It works. Yeah. Right? Like sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing to do. You ain't got to be the smartest man in the room. My guy's better than your guy, right? That's Kirby Smart when he went on that whole spiel about you can't out-coach recruiting in terms of just if I have better guys, I'm probably going to beat you. Like there's no coaching in the world to say you can coach up Devontae Brown all you want. You put him one-on-one with Keon Coleman, he's getting beat. At best, he's getting a PI. And so having that at your disposal not only makes defenses play you different, but also it's like, hey, look, because sometimes that other stuff just ain't gonna work. Sometimes you can draw it up the best way and it just don't work. And it's like, you know what? Keon Coleman, go get one.
And just think about what that does for the team. You know what I'm saying? To know I got this dude on my side, I know at some point he's gonna make a play for us. You know, that's a big confidence booster just walking off the bus, man.
I get that.
I would love to see somebody step into a role similar to that. I don't care who it is, but to know I got this dude in every game, he's gonna make a play that's gonna change the whole dynamics of the game.
You're taking Kyle Murlock. the way you just explained that, you're gonna Kyle Murlock is.
Well, I'm not saying Kyle Murlock is gonna be that dude, but I do think my hot take is that he's probably gonna be our leading receiver this year.
So it's kind of opposite for me. The dudes are on the defense, so I know AZ got his side of the field locked down. I know I could trust Pat Payton to get pressure. I could trust my other end. I'm losing his name.
Marvin Jones Jr.
Marvin Jones Jr. Those guys are on the defense, so I don't know if that's relevant to your question, but I don't see a guy on offense that I could look to, but I know there's a couple guys like they're gonna make plays on defense.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think we didn't come to that point, man.
Yeah, man. It's prediction time, man. But before I do have a question before we predict how this game's gonna go. If it's tied up in the fourth, 3 minutes on the clock, which quarterback are you taking to drive? Well, last possession, not 3 minutes on the clock. Last drive. Are you taking Haynes King or DJU to drive your kind of like the Shador drive against Colorado State? Who would take the helm for your team to win that game? Is it DJU or Haynes King?
Everything else equal?
Yes.
I think I'm taking Haynes King, man.
Jeez.
I hate to say it. Like he's got moxie. He plays free, which is part of his issue, which is why he turns the ball over a little bit. Haynes King, like the moments he don't ever seem rattled. Like he just plays his backyard football. You know, he might throw a pick, but he also might throw a touchdown, man. And he has no problem running, body on the line. I think he's much faster, just foot speed than a DJ. So tucking and running, like he'll do that. I think I'm taking Haynes King, man. Everything else equal.
Jason, I'm assuming you going DJ. Just off the strength.
So I'm looking at it two ways. Every part of the field is available with DJ. I can hit every part of the field throwing the ball. Haynes King, not so much. But at the same time, man, you drop back 15, 20 yards, he going to pick up 15, 20 yards running. And then we get a breakdown by the goal line. So I would have to say, in this instance, I would probably prefer a running quarterback to
I don't want to break
the drive. I'm gonna go with Haynes King.
I'm gonna have to go with Haynes King too. This is why I don't.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, based on I don't know what Mike could turn DJ into in 1 year. We've seen what he's done with Jordan Travis, but Jordan Travis was also more dynamic too.
And he
So
has several years with him too.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Mike. I hope as a fan, Mike did something to him, or kind of. I'm sure he catered the offense around him. But based on history, I need a gamer with the game on the line. Like, someone that's got ice in his veins. I don't know if DJ. I hope he proves me wrong, and I don't think it's gonna be close either. So I hope we're not in that situation because I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat.
Right.
So hopefully the game is. There's gonna be some close games where he has to win it with his arm. So I'm interested to see what DJU would get. But no, I'm not going with them as a Florida State fan.
Okay.
Until further notice.
Right.
Okay.
Until proven otherwise, boy.
Is it that time?
Yeah, it's that time.
All right. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Score predictions. I'm going to go with a Florida State win, but I'm going to say you win it 27-21. Georgia Tech scores that 21 with a little bit of time left on the clock. They go for the onside kick and don't get it. And you guys are able to run the clock out for a 27-21 victory. So you win, but you don't cover.
I'm going to go 35-17.
35 in an opening week.
Well,
you saw what we did to LSU last year, boy.
This ain't that offense. Jordan ain't coming out that tunnel.
I mean,
ain't coming out that tunnel.
You look at Mike's offenses, though. Like
Trey ain't coming out that tunnel.
Mike averages. We got to pull the average. He might average 30 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
The defense might give up, some points, but Mike, he puts up points. He finds ways to put up points. I do think we start the game terrible. Like we get overwhelmed. We get too hyped. It's just the week 0, the first game. You're just the adrenaline is running. They're just gonna be too hyped, over pursuing. We'll be down 10-0 early, and then Mike could kind of settle the guys, and we start getting a rhythm and pull away with it.
Okay.
All right, mine is 31-20. We covered the spread, and I can see we pull out off a late touchdown to kind of like put it away. So I'm gonna go 31-20.
That feels like a very Georgia Tech loss score. I don't know why, but I feel like they lose a lot of games like that where it's like 11 points. It's like I don't know. It just feels like a Georgia Tech score for them to lose on.
I seen a tweet because we lost Josh Petty to Georgia Tech. There was like, I hope Mike be petty and put up 77 on him.
Hey,
his jersey number.
My guy John he's watching the live stream. What's going on, John? He just sent me a text. He said Noles by 21.
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, man.
That would be boring. I'm hoping for a better game than that. I want something funner than that.
No,
you'll get the better game next week.
Right.
I want some excitement.
Let's get them out the paint, man.
Yeah, you get some excitement next week.
How they do it too little, too small, man. Let's get them
out
the
man.
paint, man.
I want a rock fight. I want
a
squabble.
Man.
We need to get in and get out.
Next week with Miami.
Nah. We ain't doing that.
First week.
The Gators.
We gonna drain the swamp first week.
That's right. That's a big one.
We're gonna talk about that next week, though.
We need to get in, get out, and head to an Irish pub. The cap tonight.
I'll be at Beef O'Brady's.
2 for 1s.
I can't get over there to Ireland, man. Hey.
All right. We got cousin Matt waiting in the wings, man. He said he ready to go.
All right, bring him on in. Let's get him in so we can get a at least he has a score prediction for this game, and then we'll jump into NFL with him.
Yeah.
Cousin Matt, what's going on?
What's going on, y'all? Good. Happy to be here.
You done playing? You done whooping up on somebody, kid? Online?
No, I'm watching WNBA now. I'm not playing the game no more.
My man say he watching the W. real quick, we finishing up the Florida State Georgia Tech predictions. You got a score prediction for that game?
I'll say 31. Georgia Tech. 31-13.
Who?
Florida State.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought he was about to get spicy.
Nah.
Smart man. All right. Well,
I like it. I like it, cuz.
Who your Gamecocks got week 1?
We play Old Dominion first game.
Boo! Play a real team.
Then we got Kentucky, then LSU.
That mighty SEC play a real schedule.
They got Kentucky, LSU.
I think we got
next.
like the 5th hardest schedule, which is crazy.
Give Lenore Sanders something to really sink his teeth into. He started down there in South Carolina. Well, they announced it yesterday. Lenore, is it Lenore?
Yeah.
It's Lenore, right?
Lenore's, but I've heard Lenore. I would say Lenore's.
Lenore.
Let them ease into the starting job, man.
I mean, on NCAA, they're the best team on the game.
We're not doing that. I'm not even getting into that, man. The D tackle is unblockable. I'm not doing that tonight, man.
Wonka nice.
Man, he's not like that, man. He's not in Kung Su, man. We're not doing that. We're not.
The running back is untackleable. Fastest receiver on the game.
Man.
Hey, Rocket 2 years ago was the best back.
Oh my!
2 years ago,
Rocket Sanders off that injury, he missed almost all last season.
Right, and I said the year before that.
Oh my!
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we will close this college football segment out.
Let's close that
because I see Matt gonna start capping.
Hey, you gotta do something.
All brim. All right,
we don't have a fancy transition to NFL, so we'll just jump right into it. Breeze, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, so we want to just do some NFL camp updates. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, just going around the horn. There's been some quarterback announcements. There's been some holdouts that are ongoing. You're the wide receiver guy, so really I want to start there. These prima donna wide receivers, man. You got Jamar Chase holding out, talking about he won $120 million guaranteed, but we can settle out of court right now for $20. You got CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee ain't even been to the facility. CeeDee still might be in Costa Rica on vacation or something. We don't know where CeeDee's at. Nobody's even seen him.
As he should be.
We keep talking to Jerry. I don't want to talk to Jerry no more. Where is CD? I want to talk to Mr. Lamb.
My dog want to see these money.
hey, that joke ain't been in the facilities. You got Brandon Ayuk, who demanded a trade. Then he said he cool not being traded. Now he trying to get paid. First of all, are these receivers outside their minds? Like, I get that. I get that the market kind of dictates, right? Justin Jettas, he goes out and gets $110 million guaranteed. I get it. You want to get your money too. Are they being unreasonable? Is it, the owners just need to pony up? Like, where are we at in the wide receiver landscape right now and paying these guys?
I don't think CD is the one guy that isn't being unreasonable because he's that guy. He depending on what list you're looking at, he might be number 2 on the list. He might so 2 or 3.
I give him top 5.
He's definitely top 5, but he is
sure.
He's in the elite class of wide receiver. I'm a Jamar Chase guy, but he had a down here last year. I agree with you now, Bree. Sometimes he shows up, and then other weeks he disappears. But when he shows up, he'll give you a 200-yard game. The next week he'll give you 3 for 25 or something. So he's got a lot more to prove before he gets that big contract. Brandon Ayuk just need to take his butt to camp. Like you could replace a Brandon Ayuk. He's not a generational type guy, so he needs to just get in where he fit in. But you're not gonna get many Mike Evans who would take a pay cut, who would, be a team guy. Mike Evans, there's far and few in between when it comes to Mike Evans. He's kind of old school guy that just wants to play ball and happens to be a Hall of Famer who's never in anybody's top 5, but whatever.
Hey, I got a pick with Mike today too, by the way. I have to send that to you. You can post that on the show Instagram or something. Somebody said it out here in the field.
I ain't getting no invite. I was.
Hey, hold on, brother. Hold on.
I mean, we're not talking about that right now, but you could have shot the invite.
I mean, I didn't get a +1, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't get the +1, but I put it on the IG story. You were there with me.
Interesting.
you were with me.
I was there virtually.
Like, what do y'all think about these receivers? Like, Jay, Matt, feel free to jump in. Like, what are we doing with the receiver stuff, man, and the holdouts?
I mean, I agree with my cousin. I mean, CD, as far as contract wise, like it makes sense because he's in his final year before he's an unrestricted free agent. So it's like, pay me. But then no one talks about how the Dallas Cowboys historically have paid less for everybody since like they've won championships. Like they're a cheap organization, which makes no sense because they're one of the most valuable organizations ever. But they don't pay anybody. Sports. Yeah, so it's like I think it sucks that he's with Jerry Jones and Jerry Jones just like, I don't want to pay you. But I think CD out of the 3 big ones that we named, he's the one that his time is up and he's proven it year after year. He's a number 1 receiver in the league. You can argue top 5, top 3. He's a top tier receiver in the league. Most teams would trade for a player like CD Lamb. I agree with my cousin. Dog, you can go sit down somewhere, dog. I don't care. You are the 3rd best option on your team. Grant maybe 4 sometimes. It depends on if George Kittle is healthy, but you're not more valuable than C-Mac, and you're not more valuable than Debo. You are a byproduct of the system. And I get it. Get your money. I'm all for it. But it's like you up there demanding trades, and you don't want to go to this team and that team. Shut up, bro. Get your money. Go play. Which like you're not that.
You're
dude,
not that
bro.
guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal.
He's the exact player that you see like, oh, he got the bag somewhere else and he disappears. He's the Allen Robinson.
Ooh,
good.
He's an Allen Robinson.
I like that.
He gets the bag somewhere, and it's like, oh, you got like he's gonna be that dude in fantasy. Oh, he the number 1. No. He's at best a number 2. Get your money though. Get paid like a number 1. Tight.
And he let me down so many times in fantasy. Sorry to cut you.
No, you good. You good. And then Jamar is interesting because they do all this talk like, oh, I want my boy T. Higgins to get paid because T. Higgins' money is up. But then he's the one that's holding out saying, I want my bag. I want generational money. Like you said, the 120 guaranteed. Dog, you were on your 4th year. Next season is the contract year for the free agency like CD Lamb. So you come into the table a year earlier knowing your homeboy who was fighting to get paid is not going to get paid because you want to get generational money. So you've been lying the whole time. And then you say, I get it. You want money, but then you also got to look at your owner is probably bottom tier as far as revenue and money spent. Like the Cincinnati Bengals are a broke franchise compared to everybody else. They are. They just spent all this money on Joe Burrow. You saying you want T. Higgins to get paid. Dog, wait. Just ball out, and then you can just for me, Jamar Chase is a little weird because it's like, why wouldn't you wait for a CD to get paid so then you can just top his money a year later? Because you're gonna get paid.
Do you think they playing the wait out game to see what happens with the other one?
It's weird because they've already come out and said priority is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They ain't say nothing about T. Higgins. They said you gonna show up and you gonna play in this tag. We not trading you.
I think you can replace T.
And yeah. I'm not saying you can't, but it's like, don't be talking about I want to get so and so paid and I want us all to be together. Like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
What you about to say, Jay?
Oh no, I was just gonna say you can't replace T. Higgins, man. That's just a number 2, man. You know,
is he
number 2?
I mean, I think T. Higgins has the potential to be a number one elsewhere.
Stop it.
I'm
Who would you
telling
rather
you
have?
this.
Who would you rather have, Brandon Ayuk or T. Higgins? If you
T.
were,
Higgins.
I'd rather have T. Higgins on my team than Ayuk.
With Ayuk,
you sleeping on T.
Higgins?
System
thing, man. Like them in the system together is what makes that work. You got somebody stretch the field, you got somebody work the middle, two people to work the middle when you got Samuels and Kittle, and then you got your boy coming out the backfield. So I think he's saying, with me, I'm what makes this system work. I can stretch the field. You need that to get that safety off the top. I can move him. So if you play it that way, he's valuable to the 49ers. The 49ers saying this is what make our offense work. Why not pay him? And I think that's the way he's going with that.
I think the 49ers got their contingency plan though, because they did draft Pretty Ricky from the Gators. So I think you could easily plug him in there because he runs Pretty Ricky, what they called him. I think he runs just as good as of routes. He's fast enough, and he's got good hands. So you could plug him into that system and not miss Brandon Ayuk one bit.
So, like Cuz said, he's replaceable.
Yeah.
Don't you ever for a second get to thinking.
Right. that you're irreplaceable.
They told him, well, he accepted the trades, brother. Like, you the one that's denying them.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing with San Francisco, you got to think of the people they've already paid. They've already paid Bosa. You had to pay Trent. Trent come back to the table every offseason. Like,
he's trying to get paid now.
As he should. As he should.
He's on 63 years old, man.
Hey, but he's still the best.
Back it up.
He's still the best left tackle in the game. He's the heart and soul of that team in a number of ways. So you got to pay them. Trent ain't that old, man. Trent,
his age
he still put people on their back.
Man, Trent is the best left tackle in the game, man. The only person, he only person better than Tristan Wirfs right now. Shout out to the Bucks again. You gotta pay
how he
Debo. Real quick, shout out to the Bucks. You gotta take care of CMC. You gotta take care of Debo. The defense, you went out and paid your linebacker. They're going to be a defense first team. So, like Brandon, I don't know where your bag fits in this grand scheme. And I think that's his issue. And I think he's going to end up on the losing end. He's not going to sniff the money that he wants to get. I do want to keep it rolling, though, on the NFL talk. We have some quarterbacks get crowned as starters. What you pumping your fist for?
He's a Broncos fan.
You're a Broncos fan?
It's weird. He's a Gamecock. He's a Bronco.
I told you the story. See, Omar don't listen. That's what it is, bro. And I'm not. He traveled with Peyton Manning. Oh yeah, right. I did. I traveled with Peyton.
Oh, you're a Peyton Manning guy.
I hitched my saddle to the Broncos. So I've been with 15 terrible quarterbacks in the past 11 seasons.
Okay. So that's been the big one that was named. Bo Nix starting for the Broncos. Where are we at with this?
Go ahead.
I mean, we talked about it during the draft process. We were like, if there was any, because I always said there's going to be 3 quarterbacks that pop this draft. I don't know who the 3 are, but it's going to be 3. I think it's going to be one of those draft classes because there was that much talent. And me and you discussed, Sean, if Sean Payton was to get his quarterback, it'd be Bo Nix. He's going to be accurate, get the ball out quick, mobile enough. Just handle my offense. I feel like everybody else was a little bit more ad-libby, a little bit more just not in his mold. I think Bo Nix is going to be a quality starter. I still don't know if he's going to be I still want to see what he can grow into because I think he might grow a little bit more in the next 2 seasons. I want to see what he looks like year 4, year 5. If he's not close to his ceiling right now. Because he's 24, 61 starts. He's pretty much what you expect him to be. I think the offense They need a little bit more playmakers. They don't have any big names, but I like Bo Nix. From what he's shown in the preseason, I get it. I get it's the preseason. I've been watching the practice clips with him versus the first team Packers defense. He's nice, and I don't know if it's just the byproduct of we've had nothing but garbage the past 10 seasons.
Garbaggio.
But he gets the ball out quick. He's mobile enough. You can't sack him. Pause. He's the exact opposite of Russell Wilson. And for me, as a Broncos fan, I just want to see flashes this first season. I'm not expecting and I'm not picking them to be better than Pat Mahomes in 5 seasons. I just want a capable quarterback until Mahomes retires. That's all I can ask for.
That's a horrible existence, brother.
Hey, man.
I hate that for you.
I've talked about it because, like, unless he can match Justin Herbert, it won't matter. And no one cares about being the third best quarterback in the division.
Okay.
Your team won't be nothing. But I mean,
what was your options though? You had to go with Bo Nix. There was the cupboard is bare at quarterback. So you had
it was
you had
trade
to
up.
go.
It was trade up to get McCarthy. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want Rattler. They didn't want to trade up to get Penix. They the whole time wanted Bo Nix. Bo Nix was their guy since the pro day. But they were afraid of the Raiders jumping up and taking him too. So it's like, if Sean Payton believes in the dude, hey, brother, I ain't have nothing to look at the past 10 seasons. All right. I'm gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be happy.
It can't be worse. It can't be worse.
I do agree with you. I agree with you with the fact that Sean Payton just wants a guy that he could kind of tell, hey, do this. Don't ask no questions. And Bo Nix is that kind of robotic guy that, in Oregon, he was a freaking robot. He just knew the system and he made plays, but it was within that system, if that makes sense. Like Sean Payton wants a quarterback to play within his system. And I think, like Matt was alluding to, all the other guys, the Caleb Williams, who they probably wouldn't have got, were more improv. They would play outside of the system. Sean Payton wants you to throw the out route on this play. Nothing else.
That dig, that's it.
Throw the dig. Hit the deep route. I think Bo Nix is that guy that fits that mold. He's not going to improv. He's going to play within the system. And if they do get playmakers down the road, it could be a good pickup. They just don't have nobody to throw it to.
Okay. All right. So now real quick, let's just round this out because there's several rookie quarterbacks who will be starting this season. So Bo in Denver, as we mentioned, Caleb in Chicago, and you got Jaden Daniels in Washington. Who has the best season?
Caleb.
Caleb. That's easy.
That's unanimous.
They're the Houston Texans of this season.
The Houston Texans of this season?
They're the surprise win 9-10 games. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
He has the fire.
They got
they're gonna make that division. Like the Lions will be the top team, and then they're gonna fight with the Packers to get that second spot.
Okay. So nobody else has a chance. Jaden Daniels don't have a chance to equal what Caleb's gonna do this year.
I just think Caleb has more weapons, though, man. You got Keenan Allen, you got DJ Moore, you got Aroma Dunze.
Swift, Kmet, and Everett as a second tight end. And the defense ain't bad.
Yeah, it's set up. It's on a platter for
him. Yeah. If he trash, he trash. Like if they win 5 games, it's like, bruh, okay.
Okay.
Everybody else got space.
Good. Wait, question for everybody before we move on. If they win 5 games, is he an early bust?
No.
Eberflus fired, and it's a nice spotlight on Caleb Williams. He better not say nothing in the press conference. You better clear your nails up. They coming for you.
I don't know how good that offensive line is going to be.
That's a good one.
Then they upgrade on the offensive line?
Get rid of the ball. You ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
That sounds good, but if you don't have a run game, so you went out and got DeAndre Swift, cool. I think DeAndre Swift still got a little bit of something in the tank. Is he a top 15 back in the league at this point? No. Can you, if the offensive line ain't that great, is DeAndre Swift covering over the mistakes of a mid to below average offensive line? No. So now you're one-dimensional with a rookie quarterback. Yes, you got Roan. Yeah, you'll have Keenan Allen for 6 weeks. I don't know if y'all listened last week. I took the under on Keenan Allen being hurt before week 7. I took the under on that. I hate to say it.
You don't get a strong 6 out of him.
Man, he's Mike Evans' evil twin. Like come on, man. He's like Mike Evans, like MCU version. Like
he's a variant.
Yeah, he's a variant. Yeah, Mike Evans gonna play every week, 1,000 yards guaranteed. Keenan Allen, I'm gonna get hurt. Like it just is what it is. So if that does indeed happen, an offensive line that's average at best, maybe you lose one of your receiver weapons. Now, do we look at him in the same lens? I say no. And I think both of those things are very realistic. The Bears could have a below average offensive line again. Keenan Allen could get hurt again. DeAndre Swift could be mostly ineffective again. Then at that point, if they go out and they only win 7 games, I'm like, makes sense.
No, not at all. They're too talented.
I got 2 points though.
You one of those people to boost somebody up like this, man. As soon as they look shaky, boy, you on their head top.
I'm gonna switch it up on you. I'm ready. I'm in backpedal. Deep thirds.
You a backpedal off the first season?
Real
He's
quick.
Flashes already.
He will backpedal
preseason.
Yeah,
it's preseason.
I know it's preseason, but like not many quarterbacks can make that type of throw preseason, regular season.
I think he's special. I
do think he's shown like special flashes.
I think
Zach Wilson could.
Don't.
Like, that was against air. Yeah. That was against air, and that throw, I don't care what nobody said. That throw wasn't incredible.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying, people could make throws until you actually. No, I'm just saying, people could make throws until you have to make real throws.
That was in a game with pads on. Zach Wilson was in basketball shorts. Stop it. And I do mean right this second.
Thank you.
I'm just cut it out.
I'm just saying.
Matter of fact, that needs to be the last Zach Wilson reference for a while, man. You gonna make me angry. But don't bring up Zach Wilson, especially not in the conversation with Caleb. Please stop.
I'm just saying, man.
Hey, I'm about to remove him from the stage, man.
You gonna put me backstage?
Yeah, man. You need a timeout. Take a 30 seconds. But seriously, I think there are some things that can happen around Caleb that kind of limit what he can do. But I agree. I think he's going to have the best season of a rookie quarterback. That was all I had as far as NFL camp. My bad, Matt. Yeah, you did say you had a couple things.
No, it was a few things. Like I'm curious of why they haven't been showing Jaden Daniels as much in the preseason. I know he's the starting quarterback, but like he felt like they've only given him like 1 or 2 drives, and they're like, "You done."
He looked good,
and it's like drives, I want to see more of them. Like I want to see more from the Terry to Jahan.
Too little, man.
You got a bubble wrap.
Too little?
Yeah, man. You got a bubble wrap.
We know he's talented, and that's my thing with him. It's like I know you're talented. It's like from Caleb. Caleb is crazy talented. Bo Nix is like a stocky quarterback. The other 2 we won't see because of injuries and what there's situations at. So it's really we only got really 3 quarterbacks. I mean, well, I keep forgetting Drake May, but I'm not gonna really count him.
Drake May's not starting. Well, he hasn't been named a starter,
right? Because he looks terrible. Because I don't want to count him. I don't want to count him. So it's yeah, he got 3. But also, remember when Joe Burrow started out when they took Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell? They didn't have a line. Yeah, he got smacked around. But it's like we could say that we could kind of see the same trajectory. Hopefully, no injuries with Caleb though. You getting the ball out quick. You got all the talented receivers. Yeah, you probably gonna get sacked 40 times because you like to run around and do all these.
Terrible.
But then they can upgrade the line. You know what I'm saying? They can give him a younger third receiver.
I mean, why would
the highest floor?
Why would they want to parade him around in the preseason when they've probably already seen enough during camp? If it's not for the fans to see in the preseason, like if we've seen enough during these practices, we've got so much invested in you. Why would we put you out there against guys that probably won't get that much starts? It's sloppy in the preseason. Why would we take that chance when basically we've put the chips in the middle of the table on you. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's smart actually.
Yeah. I think they've seen enough. Washington has seen enough out of Jaden Daniels, and they're like, all right, we're good. Give him a drive or two. He's made a couple high level throws. He's shown that his legs still work. He still runs a 4.4, whatever it is. Yeah, no need to risk injury. Bubble wrap him and get him ready for the season. At some point, we're gonna have to revisit that conversation about taking Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell, man, because Burrow be taking hits and injuries is not great. We can table that for the night though. But I think that's it. That was all I had to go around the horn on NFL real quick. You know, I think that's a full show, man. Touched on a lot of good stuff, and next week is gonna be real spicy.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some heavy college football next week, and I'll table the around the horn for the NFL until is it next week or the week after next when it's actually
week after next.
We'll have 2 more shows before NFL kicks off.
So yeah, we'll table that. But yeah, this week, go Noles. This week is exciting for all, Noles Nation. Next week is when we get what did Breeze, what Paul Pierce said. I don't want it just a taste.
Get on. Hey, get us out of here, man. Get us out of here, man.
We'll get the whole load next week.
Hey, get us out of here on that.
As always, what was that?
No, I was gonna ask y'all about how y'all think Malik Neighbors looked in that preseason game.
He's another one where we've seen enough.
Seen enough?
Yeah, Giants, man.
Yeah, I don't. Malik Neighbors, he can be the next coming to Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, Michael Irvin. It don't matter. With Daniel Jones at quarterback, he might as well be me.
Man, shout out to Danny Dimes.
Man, they need to just run the Wildcat with Saquon, man. Like, just don't even let Danny touch it.
Got rid of him.
Oh yeah, Saquon gone. Man, they let Saquon go. Yeah, so
if y'all haven't watched the Hard Knocks of the Giants offseason, I recommend watching. It's so good.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Because they try to get rid of Daniel Jones at every episode. They really try, and they can't. It's the craziest thing in the world.
That's a team that stays bad for a reason. Bad teams stay bad for a reason.
But they try. They try, Omar. They try. If we got to,
They got rid of Saquon and Kevin.
Right. They paid that joker.
Feel all that pain.
They paid that fool.
The defense good. They went and got Brian Burns.
Sure.
Not to do it.
The front seven is good.
You got to score, man. It just means score.
We're not gonna talk about the Giants.
Yeah, we're not doing it.
Let's get out of here.
Let's roll.
As always, I'm the one and only Unc. The man to my left is cousin Matt. Top left, the one and only Breeze.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing for me this week?
Nah, man. Pump broke my spirit. I'm gonna be honest. with his fancy drops.
All right. And top right, we got diehard Noles. He's the luckiest Nole fan in the world. The one and only Jason. You gotta speak things into existence.
Man.
Hey, we're gonna have a good season.
We had a 13-0 season. The year you met me, we went 13-0.
That is true.
What do you have to say about that?
And then our quarterback broke his leg and everything went downhill.
I was about to say CFP.
See, he tried to mask it as if the year I met him. No, the moment I met you.
He said, look at the box score. Look at the box score, brother. Don't worry about that. Look at the box score.
Look at the grand year. Total. Look at the full scope, brother.
Look at the fact the day I met you. Everything went downhill.
You choosing to be negative.
Right. I know, right?
I mean, if y'all ain't got nothing else, man, we'll go ahead and close this thing out, man.
All right.